Now, the majority of most small crossovers are about as exciting to look at as a bowl of oatmeal. But for 2025 with the Tucson, Hyundai's decided vanilla's just not cutting it anymore.
In fact, virtually all of the brand's models built this decade, and I know beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but you can't argue that they're all at least interesting to look at. And I mean, they'd have to be, right? Their current chief of design and their CCO are the men responsible for cars like these. And Hyundai hasn't just been busy on the outside. Their interiors these days flirt with being called downright upscale. Their powertrains and chassis designs and suspension systems have evolved, and they've spun up a luxury arm with Genesis, as well as the N Performance division, which is being run by Albert Biermann, who came from BMW M. And that's all to make no mention of their industry-leading warranty. To say Hyundai is a much different brand today than it was even just 10 years ago would be a pretty big understatement. But it's not like the competition has been sitting around on their hands, and for this class of car in particular, there are quite a few pretty impressive contestants.
The question is, does the new Tucson have what it takes to stand out in a crowded segment? Let's find out.
The original Tucson debuted all the way back in 2004. It was a compact, plucky little crossover named after the sunny city in Arizona to inspire adventure. But let's be honest, those early Tucsons felt more like beige cardigans. Sensible? Sure. Practical? Yes. But pulse racing? Not quite. A turning point came with the second generation in 2009, especially with the 2010 model, which introduced Hyundai's advanced Blue Drive system, significantly boosting fuel efficiency and marking the company's serious entry into the hybrid space. By the third generation in 2015, styling and tech were significantly refined, and the Tucson had become Hyundai's best-selling SUV. Each generation saw incremental improvements across the board, but in 2020, with the introduction of the fourth generation, Hyundai threw out the old script entirely. Fast forward to today, and for 2025, the Tucson has gotten a bit of a glow-up. From the front, you've got Hyundai's parametric hidden lights, an intricate grille that seamlessly hides LEDs until they burst alive, giving this SUV some serious Tron vibes. The headlights are projector-type LEDs and have Hyundai's IFS, or Intelligent Front Lighting System, available, combined with their multi-face reflectors that can change the shape of the beam pattern on the fly. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. Sharp geometric angles and bold creases dominate everything, and honestly make the Tucson look more like a concept sculpted in an art studio than a crossover churned out of a factory. Around the back, Hyundai keeps bold design going, complete with a full-length running light, jewel-like LED taillights, and a hidden rear wiper neatly tucked beneath the spoiler, a nod to minimalism that's refreshingly slick, and I honestly don't understand why all SUVs don't do this.
Hyundai's gone full tech-forward minimalism in here with these dual curved 12.3-inch displays at the center of it all. Physical knobs are finally back for some climate and audio functions, and the rest of the touch-sensitive controls have been treated with a sort of smudge-resistant coating. The dashboard sort of blends into the doors, and there are more soft-touch materials everywhere. They've also opted for a sort of fabric finish on some of the trim, and I think it looks great. You get a nice big panoramic roof, and overall, everything feels solidly built with no creaks or rattles anywhere. Now, there are a few quirks in here worth noting. For one, the logo on the steering wheel has been changed to these 4 dots, which spell out the letter H in Morse code. Also, the shifter is mounted to the column and has to be sort of rotated front to back to change gear. It works fine, but it's a little strange to get used to. The light for the vanity mirror is operated with a manual switch, which is kind of unusual, and it's been designed that when you close the sun visor with the lamp switched on, the visor itself clicks it back off, which is kind of a clever and unique way to deal with vanity mirror lighting. Probably my favorite interior quirk, though, happens when you operate the windshield washers. Pull the lever and washer fluid sprays out and the wipers do their thing. That's perfectly normal. What's not so normal is the HVAC system temporarily switches to recirculate, and a message pops up on the display to let you know that it's preventing washer fluid scent from entering the cabin. I've never driven another car that does that. You can also set it to recirculate automatically when entering a tunnel. As for tech, Tucson now includes Hyundai Digital Key. employing NFC and ultra-wideband sensors that enable you to unlock and start the car using your smartphone. The physical key itself doesn't support any kind of proximity functions as far as I can tell, but you do of course get hands-free locking and unlocking on both front doors. Speaking of the key, designers have laid out the buttons so they form the Hyundai logo, and on the side you have the controls to drive the vehicle forwards and backwards with the push of a button. Some journalists have complained that the feature doesn't always work, but I've had no problems getting it to move remotely every time. And I think it's a feature that could prove itself invaluable if you find yourself in a tight parking lot. Of course, you get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, premium Bose audio, a nice big wireless charging pad that actually works, and a total of 4 USB-C ports. This particular car came equipped with a 12-inch heads-up display that projects all kinds of information, including navigation, blind spot warnings, speed, audio, the list goes on. Now, the instrument cluster is fully digital, but not particularly customizable, which is actually fine here since everything is laid out well, and you get Hyundai's excellent side mirror camera functions that activate automatically with the turn signals. I love that feature. You get a high-quality rear view camera and even a 360-degree function, which not all cars at this price point have. As for safety, it's got it all. Adaptive cruise, lane centering and tracing, collision mitigation, you name it. There is no hands-free functionality, but it will go for a surprisingly long time before bugging you to put your hands back on the wheel. Not that you should be trying to drive hands-free. It's got rain-sensing wipers, automatic high beams, and it's been awarded a top safety pick with a full 5-star crash rating from the IIHS. Comfort-wise, Hyundai pretty much nails it. Heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated front seats, heated rears, and clever touches like a multi-air mode which softly disperses airflow. Now, I personally don't find these seats particularly comfortable. They're not bad, but I think the ones in the Honda CR-V are a bit better. Rear seat passengers get 39.5 inches of headroom and 41.3 inches of legroom, and at 5'9", I have more than enough space back there. As for cargo space, you get 38.7 cubic feet available unless you opt for the plug-in hybrid. Then that extra battery takes up a bit more room. Under the hood, the Tucson Hybrid packs a 1.6-liter turbocharged engine coupled to an electric motor. Together, they churn out a respectable 231 horsepower and a punchier 268 horsepower if you opt for the plug-in version. The hybrid setup means you'll feel instant torque when accelerating, although it must be said power delivery from a dead stop is a little leisurely, but it picks up quickly. And you'll see 60 miles an hour in 6.9 seconds. When whacking the throttle at speed though, it's got more than enough power. Now, with the plug-in version, using a level 2 charger will get things topped up in around 2 hours. It has about a 33-mile electric-only range, which isn't groundbreaking, but it's plenty for everyday commuting. From behind the wheel, the Tucson feels really well put together. It's quiet, comfortable, and smooth. Road noise is minimal, the steering is weighted nicely, and while there isn't a ton of feel or a bunch of lateral grip when pushed towards the limits, it's plenty confident for daily driving. The suspension soaks up bumps well and doesn't really have any bad habits, no real notes here. Acceleration is smooth and transitions between electric and gasoline power are incredibly seamless. Even braking feels responsive and natural. There's no jerky starts or stops like you get with some other hybrids in here. Also, this having a regular 6-speed torque converter automatic instead of a CVT means it drives more like a regular car. You don't get that groaning or rubber banding effect like you do with some CVTs. To sum it up, it's quieter, smoother, and in a lot of ways feels more refined than some of the competition. So how does the Tucson stack up against rivals like Toyota's RAV4, Honda's CR-V, and Mazda's CX-50? Well, the RAV4 remains a reliable choice, but is starting to feel a little dated, especially when compared to the Tucson's more modern interior. Plus, the Tucson undercuts it slightly in price, starting at around $29,500 compared to Toyota's $31,000. Honda's CR-V is highly practical, makes less power, and can feel somewhat bland to drive. And it also comes in at a bit more expensive with a $32,000 price tag. The CX-50 is great to drive, but falls short on interior space and tech features compared to the Tucson. Pricing is comparable at about $30,000, but you're getting more modern amenities with a Hyundai. All things considered, the Tucson feels like it's bringing more bang for your buck, offering style, tech, and practicality without pushing the budget too far. One of the big draws here has always been Hyundai's warranty coverage, and the Tucson continues the tradition. You've got 5 years bumper to bumper and 10 years covering the powertrain. In real-world terms, this means less stress about unexpected repair bills down the road. So, final thoughts on the Tucson Hybrid. Hyundai has genuinely stepped up their game with the Tucson. It's practical enough to keep you happy day to day, stylish enough to stand out in a sea of sameness, and offers tech that feels both modern and useful. It probably won't blow your mind in any single category, but it manages to hit a sweet spot that's tough to ignore. It's currently the best-selling SUV in all of Europe, and it's a Car and Driver Editor's Award recipient. And honestly, it's not hard to see why. But what do you think? Is this the SUV that's finally going to get you into hybrid territory, or are you still leaning towards another option? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I want to give a big thanks to Hyundai for lending me their car for the week, and an even bigger thanks to all of you for watching. With that, my name's Trav, that's the 2025 Tucson. I'll see you all next week.